back. It is
We are back.
episode 156 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is the lovely and talented.
I thought that was Scott. Okay, I'm lovely and talented. Thank you. Thank you. And then there's that guy who's lovelier and more talented.
I don't know about that, but okay, thanks.
Okay, you're lovely.
Thanks.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, before we get rolling today, before we do shout outs or whatnot, I want to say thank you if you watch us. I really appreciate it. I would love today for people to post in the comments where you're from. My stepson was talking to me about the show about an hour ago, and he was like, "Does anybody watch?" And I said, "Well, yeah, we have, some people watch, and, a couple hundred views or whatever, something like that." But he said, "Well, where do they watch from?" And I was like, "Gosh, man, we've had people from Indonesia and Australia and all over the U.S. And so, yeah, I'd be interested to know where everybody's from. But thank you. And I'm very bad at this, but you can follow the Carcass on Instagram at Carcass John Art. You can find him on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, no longer Instagram as of today, not for any particular reason. I just never used it. But you can find me on Facebook very easily. You can find us on YouTube, on our Facebook page. So please like and follow the Metal Roundtable. Go check out Scott's channel on YouTube. You can find him by looking up Scott Waters. And we've called an audible today. Last week, we promised you Metallica versus Exodus talk, but we're going to have to push that off for a couple weeks because today we've got a hot, recent topic, and then I think Scott's got us a guest for next week. And then, well, I don't know if we'll be on for Thanksgiving or not. I think I'm going to be out of town. So maybe 3 weeks. But anyway, Exodus versus Metallica soon.
So you're screaming Omaha, Omaha.
Yeah.
Omaha, kill.
Hot route.
Hot route.
So I will kick off with a very quick shout out. TJ from Forebode sent me my Forebode record. It is beautiful and it is autographed.
Mine's upstairs on the turntable. Sorry.
He also sent me.
Yep.
The CD that I was missing.
It looks awesome. I can't tell you how it sounds because I haven't played it yet.
I can tell you how it sounds because that's why I don't have mine in front of me because it's upstairs on the big system in the record room. And I was playing it, and dude, it does sound awesome. They did a fantastic job. It's a great recording. It's a great mastering job. It sounds fantastic. It sounds like Forebode should sound.
That's awesome.
So shout out to all the people. Yeah, shout out to everyone that was in that made that happen because it's really, really awesome.
Yeah, and if you want to get treated like a king and you need musical gear, dial up Sweetwater and ask for Eddie Konopasek. Because Eddie Konopasek, formerly of Forebode, works at Sweetwater, and he just sold me a guitar amp. And it didn't make me be able to play guitar, but I do have an amp now.
Well, and he would be a good one to learn from. He's very patient and he's quite good. But I noticed he's playing in another band up there.
Yep.
You probably need to get Fast Eddie on the show again and just kind of get us caught up. But
absolutely. What about you, Carcass?
I got no shout outs today. I guess I could shout out my local Kia dealership for giving me a $200 discount on a multi-$1,000 repair on my brand new car. Oh well. Don't put bad gas in your car. Buy quality gas.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Somehow lake water ended up in my tank, and boy, I will be eating crackers and drinking lots of water and buying no records for a while. In fact, hey guys, I am having a massive record sale and CD sale and tape sale.
No, you're not.
Oh, no, I'm not? Okay. No, I'll survive. Those guys, they always take care of me. They're good. Believe it or not, I actually like going to the dealership because they're good people, good quality cars, and luck of the draw, man. You just bad gas and it ruins a lot of stuff. So anyway, shout out to them, I guess. And Shout out to everyone listening to me whine about it. Hey, Chris Bell.
I never ever use like Sam's Club or Costco or Smith's or any of those gas stations. They have the reason their gas is cheaper because it's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
And it may come to the same refinery, but it's missing certain things, like it doesn't have the cleaning agents in it. And all the newer cars have little gadgets inside the gas tank, and it starts corroding if those cleaning agents aren't in there. So I always use the big name gas stations.
Well, I got into a hurry. I usually fill up with an outside vendor, and I know that the gas is made here in Texas, and I know it's in it. In fact, they even have a big sign on their pumps that says "Guaranteed gas. If you have a gas-related issue, contact us." And but I got in a hurry, and I filled up at our shop where I work, and guess what? I was the last one to fill up, and I think, oh boy, I got the bottom of the barrel blues for sure. So anyway, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's behind me. The past is perfect. I can't change it. And yeah, it's maddening, but somehow I always seem to survive. So I'll just keep growing a beard, and maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll help change my luck.
Maybe that will help. Yeah, I'm going to hold my record up again too.
I'm going to shout out TJ Lewis for the hookup. Of course, I bought the album, which sounds fantastic, as we already stated. But I also got the CD that I was missing, and he sent that as a gift. So that's pretty dang awesome. So there you go.
Awesome.
Did you get the one with the extra songs on it? There's two pressings. One actually has 2 extra songs, including a Nirvana cover on it.
This one has 5 songs on it.
One's got has it got a barcode on it?
Yes.
Yes.
It's got bonus tracks.
Yeah, it's got bonus tracks.
Cool.
Cool.
Dead air.
Yeah. Dead air. Sorry. Good quality. This is a quality we're all lamenting, and our whole show is about lamentation.
I know. So, I'm just hoping my voice holds up because
man, and I can tell you I've been jamming this thing a lot. Have you picked this up yet, Rob?
No, don't know anything about it.
Dude, hey, they were good. I'm telling you, hey, far be it from me to criticize, but I think they're better than the Riot V or the Riot 5 or the Riot Infinite Roman numeral or whatever.
Rob, put this on your list and buy it. If you like Riot, especially the first 5 or 6 albums, you're going to love the new Riot Act.
All right, hang on. Grabbing a pen right now.
Yeah, it's
that's how we say it in Texas.
Usually we're learning from our guests, but now we're learning from each other.
So the vocalist is fantastic. He used to sing in a band called was it not Iron Lamb? Yeah, Red Lamb. Played with Dave Mustaine and Danny Spitz in that band Red Lamb. Anyhow, the only original Riot member in here is
Rick
Ventura.
Yeah.
But he's great, and when I got to see them play with Raven, he was a super nice guy. Really enjoyed talking to him. And then after we were down at the club and left, we're walking outside, and there he was outside again. So we walked right by him and waved, and he waved us over and started talking to us again. Handed me a guitar pick because that was kind of cool. Yeah, I like those guys. With this album, it's been since I've seen them live, I've spun it like 10 times already, both the new album and the cover album. There's 2 CDs in this thing. Disc 1 is all new songs. Disc 2 is covers of classic Riot stuff.
Oh wow, that's kind of cool. Okay, I guess we should R.I.P. Mr. Don McCafferty from Nazareth. Really unfortunate. He passed away recently. And I guess I could shout out Turbid North.
What?
After a 5-year hiatus, guess what? We have a new album coming out soon, and they just released a video. So if you haven't seen, I think I sent it to you in a link. Scott, you should check it out. Rob,
which one is that?
Turbid North.
Oh yeah, I got totally distracted by what you just said that I didn't know.
Oh, Don McCafferty.
Yeah, Dan McCafferty. I had no idea. When did he die? Just yesterday?
Today.
Yeah.
He died today. Wow.
Yeah.
And he's been out of the band for quite a while, I know, just because he had health issues. So I don't know what his health issues were exactly, but wow, that sucks.
Yeah,
that kind of bums me out.
No, it's
putting the Turbid North video in the comments. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you remember that one year where David Bowie passed and Prince and all? He just like it was like was like a train to the afterworld. It was crazy. I mean, and I hope we're not starting another one of those, especially after being I was in the cemetery business years ago for about 4 years. And about this time of year, it starts to get where people either just fail or give up or whatever. It's notoriously a bad time for funerals. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
yeah,
I unfortunately didn't know a ton of Nazareth stuff. I knew Hair of the Dog and I knew Love Hurts and maybe a few songs, but
well, I can tell you a funny story. When you're in high school, you try to come up with a senior prank. Well, we had a jukebox in the common area called the Pits, ironically, and it was this terraced, carpeted area, and
terraced carpeted area.
terraced,
Oh,
terraced, so you could sit on multi levels. Anyway, they had the jukebox there, and a couple of guys from
Was there a
industrial arts.
multiplicity of places to sit?
It was a multiplicity of places to sit.
Yes.
Could you let me finish my story? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, we got a couple of guys from industrial arts to come in and drill in some anchors into the floor, and we moved the machine in front of the plug and then chained it down and put in $25 worth of quarters, and we played and we turned the volume all the way up. And the B-side of Love Hurts is Hair of the Dog.
Now you're messing with a.
Yep. Yes, for $25 worth of times around. So I think it played for almost 2 hours before they torched the chains and got the thing moved over and pulled the plug. That's my funny Nazareth story.
One of the guys from Alabama passed too. Yeah, his hardest, he says, not the genre, but still, yeah, respect. I mean, I heard Alabama a billion times on the radio growing up, so yeah, much respect.
Yep. Terrible.
Well, let's roll into the show, shall we?
All right.
Let's
if we dare.
If we dare. Yes. Okay, so if you guys don't mind, I'm going to tell a relatively lengthy story.
I'll just sit back
includes Richie Harris, who I've known since the first day of first grade, and he punched me in the stomach in first grade.
Is it about Oscar tentacles?
Damn you. I thought we were friends. I've been to your house. Come on, man. So,
go, Scott.
This is a conspiracy. Okay, so the great Richie Harris out of Savoy, Texas. You should pop popcorn, Donnell.
Donnell, get the popcorn out.
The great Richie Harris out of Savoy, Texas, a friend of mine for, 47 years or something, has a barbecue place, not a brick and mortar, but he does events and parties and sometimes caters for bands. And it's called Gracie Joe's Barbecue. I think I'm getting that right. Gracie Joe's. You can find him on Facebook, Richie Harris or Gracie Joe's. But anyway, he'll reach out to bands and sometimes cater for them. We've catered for Ripper. He's done some other artists that I didn't go to, but this last weekend, we delivered catering to Armored Saint. So he and Gonzo had been messaging for a while, and they got it worked out for the Dallas date. And we were excited because we had, tickets to the W.A.S.P, the Armored Saint, MSG, and W.A.S.P show. So I'll just go throughout the day. We get there early, and we deliver the food to those guys, and we meet Gonzo and Phil. And the other guys are milling about, but we're being cool and not whipping their ass with anything. And but they were so nice and so appreciative. And the other guys in the band were coming and going, but they didn't know who we were. So, but everybody was nice and super nice. So anyway, we get the food on the bus for them, and we're talking to them about logistics of what's here, and because they had some. A couple guys in the crew in the band had some different dietary needs, and so Richie made a bunch of different stuff. He made some vegan options and some pescatarian options. I did not know what pescatarian meant until Saturday.
What does it mean?
I think it means you can eat meat, but only fish. Not. I think I'm getting that right.
Well, that probably would be right because pescado means fish in Spanish, and it's from pescar, which means to fish, which is the Latin
Okay.
root. So
So
there you go.
but Richie hooked him up. He took all the badass, fixins and different dietary things that they wanted, and so that was awesome. And we got to meet them, and they promised us some goodies, which they delivered on. We already had tickets for the show, but they gave us passes, which they didn't have to do. But that was awfully kind of them. And they gave us guitar picks. Phil gave us picks, and they gave us T-shirts, which was super nice. Richie does it for free. It's not anything that he's looking for stuff, but it was cool that they gave us some swag. Okay, so we hang out, Richie and I and his brother, all day, and we're talking about music and people watching and just having a great time. And finally, it starts getting close to showtime, and we don't want to miss Armored Saint, and so we start hanging around toward the line, and the line is getting longer and longer and longer. And we've been to this place many times, and so we can't figure out how the hell are they going to put all these people in there. And we've heard that it was sold out, which made sense because W.A.S.P hasn't been here in a million years. But there's no way this many people are going to fit in the venue. And we're talking about it, in people in line, and, we're talking about it amongst ourselves. Well, to make a long story longer, we pack up our stuff and get in at the end of the line, and we get in before Armored Saint plays. And it is nut to butt. And I mean, you can't turn around. So it's just what I don't like, being that physically close to people. I mean, I'm not like I can handle it. I can go be in crowds and do stuff like that, but it's not my favorite to be that packed in like a sardine at a concert. I'm just not comfortable with it. So we get in there, Armored Saint plays. They absolutely dominate. I mean, if you get a chance, go see Armored Saint. And I'm not saying that because of the cool shit they gave us or that we got to meet him. They absolutely dominated. Just total metal machine. And John Bush, just total badass, top shelf singer. They were great. It's packed. More people are coming in. MSG plays. And I'm not a huge MSG fan. I don't dislike them, but they were good. It's cool to see Michael Schenker. That was the first time I'd seen a full set with him. I'd seen a couple of partial sets of him playing, and then I had other, responsibilities at the show and didn't get to see him play all the way through. But I did get to see that. And Ronnie Romero was cool. He's singing for him, and that was awesome. Seems like a super nice guy. We didn't meet any of the other bands. And then, and they play a great set. I don't know, it's probably an hour. The W.A.S.P stage gets set up. They bring out Elvis. They screw Elvis into the stage. All the lights are up. All the skulls are hanging off the sides and the chains, and everything's ready to go. And 30 minutes go by. 45 minutes go by. An hour goes by. The next thing I know, my pocket starts buzzing. I get my phone out, and Richie and his brother are inside the venue because they gave up on the crowd because it was just so packed. And it was uncomfortable. It was unsafe, in my opinion. I'm not going to cast aspersions at the venue. That's for other people to decide. But for me, it felt unsafe, and I was pretty uncomfortable in the crowd. Well, as soon as they texted me, I turned tail and I got out of there. And I'm telling you, Carcass, you know this, it took me 10 minutes to get through the crowd. And that's not a huge bunch of ground to cover.
Well,
all the way out, all the way down the side, all the way past the merch area. And it was just uh, it was ridiculous, man. I've
Well,
never
this
seen
isn't.
anything like it. So anyway,
Can I just interrupt real quick?
yeah, yeah,
This isn't the first time that we've been packed in there like sardines at that place.
no,
I recently went to a guar show and it felt very unsafe, because I don't know that there was as many people there, but there was an unsafe amount of people because like if you had to, if in our vantage point, we were off to stage left and kind of packed up against in kind of an open area that used to be a bar, like a speed bar or whatever. But to get up into the main venue to go to the restroom or whatever, it literally took you, like you said, 10 minutes, and you were going to catch a boot or a flying elbow because the whole area where you stood was a giant mosh pit. So, um, yes, I can only imagine because I saw the pictures and there were definitely more people there than were at Guar, and Guar felt unsafe. I can only imagine what you were thinking as you saw the crowd grow. So go ahead.
yeah. It was just the one thing that really made me uncomfortable about the whole thing. First of all, I don't like being packed in like that. It's just I'm not the most social person in the world anyway. So that kind of freaks me out a little bit. But and all Richie, and here's Richie commenting. He was there. I mean, he saw it too, and he probably had a better vantage point than I did because I ended up fairly close to the stage. But what was I trying to say? So right in front of me, I was probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 feet from the front by the time W.A.S.P was supposed to play, and I was stage right. And I noticed that there was a special needs girl on the front row with her mom. I'm guessing she was 14 or 15, and she needed to get out every now and then. I'm sure that, to use the facilities or do whatever, was necessary. But anyway, sweet little girl, and mom was super kind and patient with her, taking her in and out as she needed. But the last time they went out before W.A.S.P set was supposed to start, she was tripping over people trying to get out. And that was just killing me. That was really, it's going to choke me up. Anyway, so that's where the scene flipped for me. I mean, I already felt like it was a little dangerous, a little too packed, a little unsafe. But then I'm seeing this girl trying to get out, and I'm thinking, man, if anything went down, somebody is going to at minimum get hurt. And if it was that girl, I would never forgive that place. Anybody, but especially somebody with, challenges like that. So at the same time, I'm getting the messages from Richie and Justin, and it's like, hey, man, let's get out of here. So we got out, and that's, oh, you're not whipping our ass, Richie. It's all good. So we got out of there, and it was still another few minutes before they shut everything down, or well, at least they made the announcement. So in my opinion, Dallas Fire did the right thing in shutting the thing down. These numbers are, this is what I'm reading. Supposedly the place is supposed to hold in the concert venue a little under 2,000 people. And according to what I read, I'm not stating this as fact, they oversold it by around 1,200 tickets. So seems irresponsible to me. It was crazy.
So time out. You're saying that place holds 2,000 people?
I'm saying
they're fire rated for 2,000.
There are several things that I've read. Hang on, 4 urinals. That's the truth.
Yeah, that's
absolutely true. And it's a nice place, and I've been there many times, and I've enjoyed lots and lots of shows there. But they've made changes recently. I don't know what the capacity is. That you probably can look that up. But I think the fire marshal did the right thing. I'm trying to get everybody's comments up while I'm talking. But the image that I can't get out of my head is that girl. That bothered me. That really got to me. That if we needed to help her out, and I say we because metalheads would have helped, but just dangerous. So it just smacks of irresponsibility to me, and I really don't like it. I would love to have a professional conversation with somebody from the venue and just say, hey man, what's the deal? Don't do this to us. Uh, how can we do better? But there's been some speculation online about what really happened. I think Blackie told the truth in his post. Um, because I was there and saw it, I don't believe what the venue was saying. And it was nearly as packed for the Bay Area show. And nobody got pregnant, I don't think, Donnell.
Okay, according to Google, and this is Google, so take it for what you want. The outside capacity is 1,200 people.
Okay.
And
well, there was
and from what I understand, they asked the announcement was, will 600 people please leave so we can have the show? And I mean,
right.
who would do that?
Right.
I mean,
yeah, it was a weird deal, but so anyway, they canceled the show. They pulled the plug on W.A.S.P. They told the venue and the band, hey, we can't guarantee your safety. This needs to get shut down. And I think they did the right thing. And Richie has a good point. Remember the VIP tables that are always there? Gone, taken out of the venue. Upstairs.
Well, they moved the sound booth too out of the way of the main entrance and exit, and put them where the VIP tables were.
So it was disappointing. I wanted to see W.A.S.P again. I hadn't seen them since '89, but the main thing was people needed to be safe, and I think Dallas Fire Department did the right thing. The fire marshal, did the right thing. I would love to see actual numbers, and I'm sure we'll never find out. And the other thing is, I have not seen anything official about refunds. Supposedly, I have not seen a refund yet, Frazier. I emailed the ticket company, and they said in the event of a cancellation, it will happen automatically. So I'll look at my credit card statement. But it was a weird deal. But anyway, so there's half the show telling that story and what happened with that. So in the defense of W.A.S.P, because I heard people walking out as Richie and I were in the bus area, loading out the catering stuff. Fuck you, W.A.S.P. Fuck W.A.S.P. Oh, fuck you, Blackie. It had nothing to do with the band. The band did not pull the plug. The band was not in charge of shutting this show down. That did not happen. When we walked out, there was a host of Dallas PD, Dallas Fire, and Fire Marshal people there. So it was absolutely a legit shutdown. I was there. The three of us were there, plus many more people saw this go down, and it had nothing to do with W.A.S.P. So don't don't throw shade at W.A.S.P. Hopefully they'll be back. I don't know how logistically they would make that happen because tour things are so tightly scheduled, but I hope they do. And it was a peaceful exit. There were some pissed off people, but everybody did the right thing and got out. I think it's because we're too old to fight. But anyway, so that's it. That's all I have to say about that. So now let's turn the back half into the show into your comments, Scott and Carcass, and let's just talk about the bands. I will do a 10-second on each one. Armored Saint, my first album was Delirious Nomad. They played Long Before I Die. My Armored Saint life is complete. That's my favorite song. MSG was great. They played tons of UFO classics, and we didn't get to see W.A.S.P, but I did at least get to see Elvis in the flesh. So that was cool.
Oh, was it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry, I was looking at the comments.
well, I've seen all these bands before back in their heyday, and this was kind of should we call it like not like necessarily a reunion, so to speak, but Wasp hasn't played in a long time, have they?
They have played overseas. They haven't played in the States in a long time.
But they're kind of one-off type things. I saw them back touring with Blind when they were doing the Blind in Texas thing, and he was riding the giant phallic thing or whatever. And that's kind of where it ended for me. Um, I wasn't somebody. In fact, Rob Doom in Houston asked me about, well, why didn't I go? And I said, well, honestly, I've seen Shanker before. I saw Shanker at the Sunken Gardens in San Antonio, sandwiched between Uli John and Roth and Montrose and Legs Diamond and all that. And he's good, and I like him, but he's kind of a prickly personality, and it sort of taints my image of him, so to speak. So I wasn't that enthralled. I love Armored Saint. I especially like the early stuff, and I don't know. It was one of those things where I just didn't feel like I needed to be there. Now I did have another activity that night, and it was not poorly attended, but it got busy, and I'm guessing that's after it got shut down and people started showing up, and it was at a venue not too far from there. It was a pit bull event. Pit bulls are a mosh crew here locally in the DFW area that promote and do a lot of heavy and death metal stuff. Had some killer bands, and it was mildly attended, but like I said, it got busy after, and we started hearing all these rumors of the shutdown, and by midnight we were all enthralled with the subject of
you were texting me.
Yeah, I was texting you going, what the heck? What happened?
Hey, and this really happened too. Did you see Richie's comment?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
They gave him a full shout out. It was awesome.
Well, he fed them. Of course he's going to get a shout out. But anyway, I'm trying to remember I want to say the last time I saw Armored Saint was maybe the Engine Room in Houston. I mean, it's got to be maybe Metal Rob or even Frazier. Frazier was there. I'm sure he was. It might have been 90 or 92, and they were great. I think they're for me, Armored Saint is better live, and maybe Wasp would be too. If I just don't remember that much. I just remember them being kind of forgettable. And so I'm not saying I'm not a fan, because those first two albums are absolutely brilliant. And we've had Wasp talk on the Metal Roundtable before, so I'm not going to just blather on past them and not give them their due, because I know that they're a great band. But anyway, as far as buying stuff, I mean, I listen to Shanker stuff all the time because I love the early UFO. I love the early Scorpions. And I actually haven't. I was telling a friend of mine. In fact, I was telling Chris Manning, Scott. We were talking about reasons to have gone to the show, and I said, well, I might have wanted to see Shanker again, except the only time I've interacted with him, he was kind of a douche, and he yelled at me in front of an entire crowd of people because he would only sign one item per person, and I kept going back and getting in line again. And he said that I'm cheating the system. That's what he yelled at me. Stop cheating the system, he said. So I don't know. Was that cheating the system? I got back in line. He signed one item and I got back in line, but whatever. He's a phenomenal player. He's a little angsty for me, but I don't know. This was one show that I probably wasn't that enthralled with seeing, but I was interested in seeing it. And had I not had another more pertinent event to go to, I probably maybe would have attended and been disappointed, just like Rob and Brutal Brian and some of the other people that went. But I think you saw the two best bands, quite honestly. That would be my opinion. But I don't want to disparage Wasp or anybody else, because the whole scene was a bad one.
It was. Scott, I think you're muted, buddy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've seen Wasp a bunch of times, and every time I've seen them, they were really good. The last time I saw them, they had Lizzie Borden opening up for them, And honestly, Lizzie Borden was just so good. I mean, their stage show, their sound, how tight they were. That Wasp was a bit of a disappointment afterwards. And I'm a big Wasp fan, so I'm not saying it was a bad show, but it was just like the opening band was so good that there was just no way Wasp was going to overcome just riding on his Elvis or whatever he calls this little thing he rides on. But uh, but regardless, I mean, I've seen Michael Schenker several times too. Never got to meet Schenker. I went to see him and Yuli Roth in Anaheim, and after the show, they had a meet and greet. So I got in line to see Yuli Roth immediately. I love Schenker too, but so I was going to do both and get autographs from both. But as I got to I was like second or third in line to meet Uli, and as I'm standing there having him sign my stuff, it was one of those silver, metallic Sharpies. This was many years ago, so I guess it was kind of a newer thing. So he signed my Scorpions record, he signed my Electric Sun record, and he's like, "This is a really cool pen." I said, "Well, you can keep it." I said, "I have another one." He goes, "No, no, no, no." And he calls me back and he has me come back behind the table and stand next to him while he signs autographs. And I stood next to Yuli, listening to him tell me stories for the entire time all these people were getting their stuff signed. So I never got to meet Schenker, but heck, man, I spent nearly 45 minutes with Uli Roth,
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
It was pretty awesome. And Yuli was so cool that when I got to see him again years later, he actually remembered who I was. I was shocked because, how many people though, I mean, even in my little band, I mean, I'd see people that saw me live and I'm like, I have no idea who they are. But I gave him a hair of a reminder, and because he wasn't really paying attention to who he was signing stuff on. I looked up. I said, "Oh, I saw you in Albuquerque, and I saw you in Anaheim." And he looked up and goes, "Oh yeah, I remember you." And he wrote this big old long message on my poster. So, anyhow, big story about Yuli Roth has nothing to do with Schenker, but because of Yuli, I didn't get to meet Schenker. So,
well, see, I have a similar story about Uli. He was at the same show at the Sunken Gardens in San Antonio, a very famous venue there, and everyone was piled up in the line to get Schenker to autograph, and Uli was literally sitting there reading a book. Nobody was over there, so I said, "Can I bother you for an autograph?" And he goes, "How many do you want?" And so we just sat and shot the breeze. To your point, he's a very amicable guy and very and has stories to tell. And what a great player! I love those. Well, my affinity for the first couple of Scorpions records, especially Lonesome Crow, but and then the Flight of the Rainbow. I love those two albums. But anyway, once again, did they have like a meet and greet there, Rob?
Yeah, we before they ate, when we delivered all the food, right after that, the meet and greeters came through, and it was really cool because we were watching from a distance. But the thing that struck me about this meet and greet, because I've only been to a couple, and it was so fast. It was it was so quick and so impersonal. But man, they were really standing there talking to those dudes for a long time, and ladies, and really taking time to, just really BS with them for a little bit and sign all their stuff and get all their pictures. And so,
now was this just Armored Saint, or was this?
We only saw the Armored Saint one because they actually brought him out by the bus, through the venue, out by the bus, and it was a beautiful day, sunshine outside, and really nice day. So they all just stood around by the bus, which is in a fenced off area. And I mean, they must have been out there for half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, and just talking, and lots of smiles, and it was really cool. And I know that Blackie and W.A.S.P did a meet and greet too. I did not see where that happened, and I don't know about MSG. We saw Blackie go by a couple times. We did not see anybody from, well, I guess we did see a couple of the MSG guys, and I felt like an idiot because I didn't know who they were. So they walked by us. John Bush walked right next to us a couple times, and I was too nervous to say anything. I should have taken my chance, but I just don't want to bother them because they're backstage, and that's kind of their home away from home, and I want to be respectful of that. So
I wouldn't have asked for an autograph.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, you only get one shot sometimes, as
Yep,
Eminem
that's
was
the way I
saying.
see it.
And
It's pretty rare that I've ever asked for one where they were like, I can only name 2 or 3 people that it was an issue with, but I've been backstage, I've been on tour buses and everything else, and they were always like really seem to be cool with it. So
yeah,
um,
and watching him interact with people from afar, he would have been totally fine with it. But yeah, I just didn't do it. I just didn't mess with him. So
Wait, did you say Eminem?
yeah, I quoted Eminem. You only get one shot.
Okay. Well, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of
Do
Fame
not
now.
miss your chance to blow, because opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
I wanted to show a
Better
cool
lose
45
yourself
on
in
if
the
you guys
moment
know
of
this band
music.
or not.
You better never ever let it go. Whoa,
Stop.
that's
Do you
all
know
I
this?
know.
Do you know this release?
Killer
one of you?
Kane Band? Looks like Scott Weiland.
It
Who is
does look
that?
like Scott Weiland.
You know who you know who
Or Ginger Baker, one of the two.
no, you knew who Arthur Kane is, right?
Yes.
One of the main guys from New York Dolls.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, well that was after towards the end of the New York Dolls time, Blackie Lawless replaced Johnny Thunders, and he played with W.A.S.P on one of their very last tours. And then shortly afterwards, he moved to W.A.S.P. Blackie Lawless moved to Los Angeles, and he and Arthur Kane formed the Killer Kane Band.
Oh, wow. Look at
So there
that.
he is.
Scott bringing the history out to the forefront.
And this song on here, gosh, I can't remember the name of what it's called, but one of the songs on here is literally a W.A.S.P song that he redid in W.A.S.P. But
Oh wow.
I can't think of it top of my head which one it is.
Mm.
This is 3 song. And yeah, it's a 3-song single that they released. This is actually not an original pressing. It was reissued once many moons ago on Hozak Records, which I've never even heard of before. But I snatched it up as soon as it came out. So I was just curious if you guys had heard of these guys or not.
I've heard of them, but not. I don't know anything about it until you just brought it up.
Yeah, Frazier. I met Rob Halford. That's one of the only 2 meet and greets I've ever done. I did. You could meet either Priest or Dio. We talked about that last week. Rob was really nice. I've never met Bruce Dickinson. Probably never will. Do you have a sister, Scott? Oh, do you have
got
any?
it?
Oh,
No, I don't have any. I don't have any sister. That's Blackie's one of Blackie's early bands as well.
I thought Donnell was trying to date your sister.
I don't have one, so it'd be kind of hard to do.
Let's see.
The song is Mr. Cool, man. Why can't it's driving me nuts that I can't remember what it's I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now.
What band would you like to meet? You hadn't met yet in your dreams?
Prayer and Def Leppard jokes.
Me?
All right.
Aerosmith.
Next time I'm
I would
going,
love to meet the guys in Aerosmith, any of them, or all 5. I've never met any of the guys in Aerosmith. I've got lots of stuff autographed because other people have met them and got things autographed for me because they know how big a fan I am, but I've never personally got to meet them myself. So
I met Joe Perry. I saw Joe Perry in a hotel lobby, and he scribbled on my hot sauce and just, I mean, literally went like this on an album cover and threw it at me. He was not very cordial at all. But anyway, that was my only Aerosmith interaction. Huh?
Did he write his name on it?
You can barely read it
because his handwriting.
He literally looked at it and he went, and then just tossed it at me.
What album was it?
Let the Music Do the Talking.
Oh,
so yeah, and I had a jar of hot sauce, or was it barbecue sauce or hot sauce? And he just kind of put an X on it and tossed that at me too. I'm just like, okay, I guess you're not in the mood. whatever, my brother.
Yeah, but, for me, I would just. I mean, I don't want to spend. I'm fine not spending the entire day with them or something, but I would just like to meet them all, just shake their hands, and maybe get an autograph, But I have met one member of Aerosmith, but it wasn't an original member of Aerosmith. So
Jimmy Crespo.
Yeah,
Jimmy Crespo.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
He was very cool.
He didn't scribble his name on an album cover for me.
No, I didn't actually get his autograph because I didn't have anything to get autographed. But he was playing with a cover band in Vegas that we went to go see, and I'm sitting there with my buddy Trog, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, that's Jimmy Crespo. He goes, no way. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's Jimmy Crespo. He doesn't look the same anymore. He was really thin, and he had like a hat on and very thin face. Obviously much older than he was back in the 80s. And so anyway, I said, I know it's him. And so we sat there and waited till the set was over. And afterwards, we walked up and talked to him. I said, are you Jimmy Crespo? And he's like, he seemed like he was generally impressed that we even knew who he was. And I said, I'm a big fan. I said, my first concert was seeing Aerosmith, and you were the guitar player. And so anyhow, he was really nice, handed me a guitar pick, and then we sat there and watched the second and third sets. So they played a few Aerosmith songs, and it was a blast. So I have met him, but I have not met any of the original members of Aerosmith.
Yeah, that's I've met a few people over the years, but and sorry about my voice. My voice is failing very quickly here.
Well, we could have a whole show on
Bands you've met?
celebrity meet and greets.
Yep.
Yeah,
I got lots of stories of meet and greets.
I got to tell.
Oh, I have a story about the W.A.S.P and Armored Saints show too, because they came here a few days before were in Texas.
Do it.
And I had my tickets, and I was too sick to go. So I had to bail on my buddy, and he had another friend he went with, but he ended up, I'm sure the ticket got wasted, which is unfortunate. But I was gonna force myself to go, but man, 6 o'clock rolled around, and I'm just like, ain't no way. I feel terrible.
So you didn't get a report back on how the show was? I mean,
no, I haven't even actually haven't had a chance to talk to him yet about it. I called him the next day to ask, but he didn't answer, so I assume he was busy. So, but I'll find out. I'm sure. From what I've heard from everybody else that's gone to the show, they were great. Both bands were great. But a lot of people said Armored Saints stole the show.
I would believe that. Like I said, their albums are good. I don't think they're groundbreaking, but they're great. Some of them are actually great, but their live show, man, they just kill it live. I think I saw them. In fact, maybe Derek, Motorhead Derek, can pop in, or Poser Mark. We were all there. I think they were opening for Lillian Axe, or no, it was anyway. John, you still?
You're right, Donnell.
Yep. Quit singing. But anyway, I just remember how impressed I was with them, and Lillian Axe came out, and they were just flat as a pancake. But how do you follow Armored Saint live, especially with basically an original lineup?
They were awesome. And the cool thing, see, I've always been, when I say a casual Armored Saint fan, what I mean is I know the first several albums like everybody else does, but I was bad about staying up with them. And the thing that blew me away was I didn't have this one. I didn't have this one. I didn't have that one, even though I knew it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Didn't have that one.
That's a great one.
Didn't have that one.
That's a good one too. I really like that album.
I know. So I go down to my store inventory, and I'm like, wait a minute. I got all this Armored Saint shit that I had no idea that I had. So I pulled all those out, and they played a couple of newer songs, which is great for me. They played a song off of When Hands Down. They opened with Rain of Fire, which I think is from their 2020 album. They played another song I'd never heard before. So that was pretty cool. So I was glad to see them live for the second time, and they dug a little deeper, and it was awesome. When Hands Down is a badass song. I'm going to start coughing.
Yeah, that's my problem, man. I was coughing my butt off when I was sick. But in any case.
This is allergies, man. Texas can't decide. Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it humid? Is it dry? Is it
Well, plus the fact that it rained like cats and dogs briefly and everywhere, and now all that stuff is in the air again. So
man, I'm just suffering. But well, guys, I know we're a little early, but
that was a good metal talk. Right? Hey, if anybody knows what was the song is called Mr. Cool by Killer Cane Band. What W.A.S.P song came out of that song from Killer Cane Band?
I think Cries in the Night.
Yeah, because I'm looking it up and I can't even find it online. Anyhow, I was just curious. I hate when I can't remember stuff.
Yeah, look it up. Cries in the Night. I'm pretty sure.
Which is from The Last Command, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correctamundo. Yeah, I took some Wasp stuff and an MSG disc just in case, but yeah, we didn't see those guys.
That's cool. But hey, man, you got guitar picks. That's always cool.
Oh yeah. Dude. It's got Phil's name and
Herman Munster
on one side.
That's
funny. And then the other side's got the logo and says 40 years. So
wow, they've been a band for 40 years. That's incredible.
Yep. So now that we're not done with the show, it'll go on the shelf with all the others, and the T-shirt will get washed and worn.
Yep. I Integrity 101. That is a true fact. Symbol of Salvation's a great album, and
it is a fantastic.
Bush is an underrated singer. I think you and I talked about this yesterday, Rob. I didn't really like the matchup with Anthrax as much as you did, but man, with Armored Saint, it's just a different vibe, and I guess to me, he fits better in that band than he does in Anthrax. But
well, it was another. It was just kind of a different deal. And Anthrax, the Bush era of Anthrax, is one of those things that, for some reason, I wasn't pissed off at him or anything. I wasn't trying to ignore it, but I got Sound of White Noise. I think it's a badass album. And then I think Stomp 442 or 242
or 442. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look. Hang on, it's driving me nuts.
Production value.
Old age kicking our asses, man. We keep forgetting stuff.
No, you just clutter your brain with so much stuff that you can't remember it. That's the problem.
This is true.
442.
Stomp 442.
And for some reason I missed a bunch of their albums with him on it. But
isn't the one with the 8-ball on? Isn't that one of his too? Or is that
I think that's We've Come for You All. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're good. They're good albums. But I went back and listened to Sound of White Noise before the show just for giggles. And that's a solid record. But
like we often talk about, it might be a good record, but is it a good Anthrax record?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I think that one is.
All right.
A Sound of White Noise is fantastic. I don't know. You could say the same thing about Metallica. Is the Black Album? It's a good album, but is it a good Metallica album? Right. Same. You could do the same with Megadeth. They had a couple albums.
No, like that I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go on this Exodus Metallica thing. I'm ready to throw down right now in the parking lot.
You may have to wait a few weeks now.
I'm going to get cornrows in my hair, and I'm going to tape my knuckles up. I'm ready to go, man.
You're ready to fight.
I am.
Yeah, Donnell.
I'm going to listen to that.
Donnell, I agree that We Have Come for You All was a great record.
Well, once again, I'll have to go back and address it again and just listen to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that one out because I know I've got it. And
somebody, there was some stupid magazine like Spin Magazine or something like that did a thing with the 10 worst albums of all time, and they put that album in there as one of the 10 worst albums of all times. Like, you guys are freaking nuts.
No, I guarantee you, it's not one of the 10 worst.
Oh yeah, their number one was the Iced Earth album that has all the American history on it. I can't remember the name of the freaking album top of my head, but
with Ripper? No,
yes, that's a great album too. But
that thing is not the worst album.
That was their number one worst album, The Glorious Burden.
Glorious Burden, yeah. No,
yeah, it's a great album, but yeah, they had it as their number one, but it was more for woke bullcrap than it was for bad music.
Yeah, Green Face. That's all I got to say to them.
Speaking of, Scott, did you want to talk about next week real quick?
Yeah, yes, we can absolutely. Next week we are going to have on John Greeley. Everything should work out. He agreed to it, so we should have him here next week. John Greeley, of course, sang in Iced Earth for quite a few years, but he was on probably their most popular album. Which what would you say their most popular album is, or what's your favorite album from them?
Man, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know a ton about them. I have The Glorious Burden, and I like it quite a bit, but I'm not a deep catalog Iced Earth guy. So
Something Wicked is one of my all-time.
Yeah, Something Wicked's fantastic. It's one of mine too. But he sang on Night of the Storm Rider, which a lot of old school fans think is their best album. So anyhow, he sang on that album, and he's in a new band called Seventh Servant, and they just put out two LP power metal album that's fantastic. So anyhow, he's going to be on next week talking about that and probably talking a bit about Iced Earth. And he's still really good friends with John Schaefer, so we may get some talk on John Schaefer as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing from him, maybe some funny road stories.
Yeah, that'll be cool. It'll be nice to have him on. Well, boys, I'm going to wrap this up before I freaking die live on the.
No
yeah,
problem.
Let's not do that. That's really gonna set a bad precedent for us, Rob. Please don't do that.
Donnell Blair, yes, I have already run out of room for records. I need another record shelf. I got them piled up all over the floor. So the answer is yes.
Yeah, I ran out of room, and so I sold most of them. Obstacle typical. That's funny. Well, until next time, we're going to get out of here before my voice. I feel fine. Just my stupid voice is killing me. And I don't want to hack for the next 3 minutes of the show. So anyway, unless you boys have got parting shots, you know how we do it. And we will see you again with John Greeley. Did I say that right? John Greeley.
You did.
Okay. All right, boys, for episode 156, I am Metal Rob with Carcass John and Scott Cool Still Waters signing off. Until next time. Oh, shit. I'm not ready.
Why not? Oh, you don't have the thing ready.
Here we go. Until next time. Metal
will prevail.
Oh, and I pushed the wrong button.